In a whirlwind of sensational news, a real scandal is brewing. Donald Trump denies knowing the famous actor Samuel L. Jackson, claiming that he has never played golf with him and considers his television commercials boring. But what is behind this unexpected outburst? At the center of attention is a long-standing story of the movie star exposing Trump's lies. The reason for the disagreement was an incident involving membership in a golf club. The actor said that he received a bill that he did not pay because he was not a member of the club and had not visited it for 3 years. However, it turned out that he was charged for using the pool despite his absence. At the heart of the matter is the situation where Donald Trump denies knowing Jackson, claiming that their paths have never crossed. However, it turns out that Jackson has strong evidence refuting Trump's claims and revealing the truth that he may have wanted to hide. This story began with a bill from the golf club, which, according to Jackson, he never signed. This incident is escalating into something more than just a conflict between two famous people. It raises questions of power, deception, and the confrontation of the Hollywood elite with a man whose reputation is built on distorting facts. When Jackson was asked if he realized that he had entered into a confrontation with Donald Trump, he replied that he did not know about it, but admitted that it bothered him because he also had no sympathy for Trump. He expressed a sense of solidarity with everyone who faces animosity from Trump. This story promises to reveal many interesting facts, supported by irrefutable evidence. The whole story begins with a casual remark by Samuel L. Jackson in an interview where he casually mentioned Donald Trump's unfair play in golf. It would seem like an insignificant episode, but not for Trump. Instead of taking it with humor or simply ignoring it, he resorted to his favorite method, denial. He rushed to Twitter to declare that he was completely unfamiliar with Jackson. As expected, his supporters took it at face value and the incident seemed to be over. However, Jackson was not going to give up. He was not only familiar with Trump but had also played golf with him many times. And then, when it seemed that interest in this story was beginning to fade, something strange happened. A bill from one of Trump's golf clubs appeared in Jackson's mailbox. A misunderstanding? The fact is that Jackson has not been a member of this club for several years, and moreover, he has never applied for membership. A logical question arises: why did they suddenly start charging him? This circumstance arouses genuine interest. It soon became clear that it was not just about playing golf, but about Trump's ingrained habit of distorting reality, tailoring it to his version of the truth. And Samuel L. Jackson was not the only one who encountered such behavior. In the world of American cinema, disputes around Donald Trump's personality do not subside, causing a resonance among A-list stars. Robert De Niro and other well-known actors have repeatedly criticized Trump's business approaches, drawing parallels with gangster methods. In this wave of public opinion, Samuel L. Jackson took a special place, deciding not to ignore Trump's alleged unfair actions. Jackson, known for his straightforwardness, turned to the social network Instagram to present evidence of, in his opinion, questionable business practices. He posted a photo of a bill from a golf club associated with Trump, emphasizing that he had never been a member of this club. The actor accompanied the publication with an ironic comment, hinting that there was a bill in his wallet for services that he did not use. In response to the accusations, Donald Trump was quick to react, addressing counterarguments to the movie star. This incident became another episode in the public confrontation between representatives of the Hollywood elite and the former U.S. president, reflecting deep disagreements in views on doing business and politics. A recent issue of United Airlines Rap City magazine drew public attention with Samuel L. Jackson's statement that one of Trump's golf clubs charged him membership fees without his consent. In response to the magazine's question about whether he considered himself a better golfer than Donald Trump, Jackson replied that he was sure of it because, according to him, he did not resort to unfair play. Donald Trump's reaction was not long in coming and followed in his usual form, via Twitter. In his message, Trump stated that he was not familiar with Samuel L. Jackson, did not remember playing golf with him, and expressed the opinion that the actor appeared too often in commercials, calling it boring. Jackson's response turned out to be witty and supported by facts, which caused a stormy reaction on social networks. Users actively commented on the situation, ridiculing Trump for his alleged dishonesty. Questions arose about how many more celebrities might have been secretly included as members of Trump's clubs without their knowledge. The online community reacted to the incident by creating numerous memes, jokes, and endless tweets, all conveying the message that Trump had once again found himself in a sticky situation. It became apparent that Donald Trump's attempt to distance himself from Samuel L. Jackson backfired. And Jackson wasn't about to stop revealing the truth. Donald Trump is known to react very sensitively to criticism. When Samuel L. Jackson mocked him, Trump resorted to his usual method, tweeting. Instead of addressing why Jackson was being billed for a club he never belonged to, Trump immediately resorted to insults. He called Jackson a boring actor who appeared in an excessive number of commercials. This is ironic considering Trump himself puts his name on everything from steaks and casinos to a failed university. However, Jackson didn't let this insult go unanswered. His response was concise, simple, and very accurate. At least people know who I am. And Jackson wasn't the only one to put Trump in his place. Robert De Niro has criticized Trump for years, calling him a gangster and accusing him of acting as if he were untouchable. Robert De Niro, like Samuel L. Jackson, was direct in his statements, leading to another verbal clash between Donald Trump and Hollywood figures. The conflict went beyond disputes about golf, false memberships, and Twitter criticism. Celebrities increasingly openly expressed their disagreement with Trump's statements, drawing the attention of the global public. In response, Trump launched a new attack, questioning Senator Ted Cruz's citizenship, pointing to his birth in Canada. Trump's concern was expressed in the question of whether a person born outside the country could legitimately hold the office of president. In response, Cruz posted a tweet with an image of Fonzie from the TV series Happy Days jumping over a shark, hinting at a possible end to Trump's reign. Cruz stated his intention to distance himself from the conflict, shifting responsibility for further action to others. At the same time, a new wave of Twitter criticism erupted between Trump and actor Samuel L. Jackson, sparked by disagreements over golf. The recent exchange of barbs between Samuel L. Jackson and Donald Trump attracted widespread attention. After being questioned about his golf skills, Jackson humorously noted, "I'm sure I don't cheat." Trump was quick to respond on Twitter, stating that he didn't know Jackson hadn't played golf with him and found his TV commercials excessive and boring. In response, the hateful 8-star reminded Trump of their shared golf game and meal, mentioning shrimp and hot dogs. Samuel L. Jackson isn't the only Hollywood figure tired of Trump's behavior. Robert De Niro also openly expresses his opinion. Known for his directness, De Niro doesn't mince words, calling Trump a gangster, criticizing his leadership, and making harsh remarks about him on live television. The conflict between them goes beyond social media squabbles. De Niro considers it his duty to expose what he perceives as Trump's reckless behavior. From emotional interviews to powerful stage performances, De Niro has repeatedly and publicly criticized Trump's actions and statements. Robert De Niro, known for his blunt statements such as the infamous F***CK Trump speech at the Tony Awards and his open criticism of Donald Trump's intelligence, has always been straightforward. In response, Trump called De Niro a washed-up actor, which is a typical reaction from someone who can't tolerate criticism. De Niro and Samuel L. Jackson are just part of an impressive list of Hollywood celebrities who have expressed their disagreement with Trump's policies. Actors, musicians, and directors have actively spoken out. From Meryl Streep's powerful Golden Globes speech to Taylor Swift's political statement, Trump's presidency was marked by a surge in activism among celebrities. Despite the notion that actors should avoid political statements, many celebrities believe that silence is unacceptable in this case. Donald Trump, in turn, skillfully uses controversy to his advantage. He not only ignores criticism but also deliberately exacerbates the situation. By engaging in confrontations with celebrities, politicians, and even world leaders, he maintains a tense atmosphere. The most surprising thing about this situation is the unpredictability of his future actions, which makes the political process even more dynamic and unpredictable. The online community immediately reacted to the golf club incident involving Donald Trump after Samuel L. Jackson exposed the details of the scandal. Twitter was flooded with memes, witty comments, and sarcastic replies, which came as a complete surprise to Trump. At first, he denied knowing Jackson, but then screenshots and documentary evidence were presented, sparking a wave of ridicule online from which he could not escape. The public is expressing serious concern about the possible outcome of the next election. There is a fear that if Trump wins, he may refuse to leave office. He himself has repeatedly hinted at this possibility, and many believe that he may actually take the step. Comparisons of the Trump family to a gangster clan have also become widespread. It is noted that Trump behaves like a gangster, making decisions and acting in accordance with the principles characteristic of the criminal world. However, even among criminals, there are certain norms and a code of honor which calls into question his compliance with this image. When promises are not kept and integrity in relationships with people is absent regardless of the field of activity, it inevitably leads to alienation and complicates life. In this case, the reaction was not long in coming. Fans and celebrities instantly expressed their position. Support for Jackson on Instagram grew and he was called a legend for exposing Trump's dubious business practices. At the same time, Dow's past critical statements about Trump were recalled online, turning the situation into a large-scale confrontation between Hollywood and Trump. Comedians, late-night show hosts, and influencers actively joined the discussion, emphasizing that Trump's attempt to distort the facts backfired. However, this was not the end of the matter. Public interest shifted to Trump's golf clubs. The question arose, how many more celebrities could be members of these clubs without even knowing it? If Jackson was receiving bills without his knowledge, who else could be secretly registered? Thus, what started as a minor Twitter spat escalated into a serious discussion about Trump's business dealings. It became obvious Donald Trump was not just losing a verbal battle, he was being publicly humiliated in front of a multi-million audience. For a man whose public persona is built on demonstrating strength, constant victories, and total control, this turned into a real nightmare from which he could not escape in the usual way through Twitter messages. Samuel L. Jackson only had to put an end to this farce. By exposing Trump's lies, cutting off his clumsy attacks, and watching the internet community ridicule him, Jackson delivered a decisive blow worthy of a master. I blocked Trump like an errant golf shot. With that, the discussion was over. There was no more room for mutual recriminations and wasted energy, just an elegant and effective gesture. The message was crystal clear: don't mess with Samuel L. Jackson unless you're ready for a crushing defeat. And if Trump found this spat unpleasant, he should probably avoid confrontation with Robert De Niro because Hollywood is not used to backing down. This episode clearly demonstrates that Donald Trump, despite his presidential ambitions, does not consider it shameful to engage in petty squabbles on Twitter, which raises questions about his priorities and maturity as a politician. In a recent interview, famous actor Samuel L. Jackson was asked about his golf skills compared to Donald Trump. Jackson's answer was laconic and hinted at honesty in the game. "Oh, I'm sure I don't cheat." Trump's reaction was not long in coming. In his style, he responded on Twitter, stating, "I don't know Samuel Jackson. As far as I know, I've never played golf with him and I think he's on TV commercials way too much. It's a pain." This episode once again demonstrates that Trump's methods do not always achieve their goals. There are people who are willing to openly criticize him, expose disinformation, and bring the truth to the public. The question is, will the Jackson and De Niro duo be able to stop Trump, or will there be a new wave of retaliation? Time will tell how this public discussion unfolds.